¿Qué onda mi gente bonita? ¿Cómo estamos? Pues el día de hoy nos encontramos aquí en Pacific Beach para hacerle preguntas a la gente de aquí de San Diego. Y bueno, vamos a hacer una serie de preguntas para ellos y vamos a darle. Today we're here with the beautiful
Maddie, Bella, Amanda.
Hey Maddie, so the first question is, does the first impression matter? What do you think?
I think the first impression does matter.
What do you think, Isabella? Does the first impression matter?
Yes, first impressions do matter a lot. Yeah.
So what do you think? Does the first impression matter?
Yeah, I think first impression is very important.
What do you think are some do's and don'ts on the first date?
Opening up the car door.
What about you?
I say like don't talk about yourself, just like make conversation. Your exes, don't talk about your exes. Oh, don't talk bad about your exes because it makes you seem bitter. Yeah, that was a good one.
Do you girls have any flirting techniques that you want to share with the guys?
I think just keeping eye contact consistently. Yeah, I agree with that.
So what do you think?
Just don't overdo compliments. Like compliment her, but like on her personality, not just her looks.
Nice. Forget guys.
Subscribe, like this video. Yes.
What are some do's and don'ts on the first date?
I think do's for both parties would be to learn more about each other first before, bragging about your own achievements and confidence, because, that they'll learn about that in time. And also just treating everyone around you nicely with manners. That definitely gives the other person a good idea of who you are.
What do you think, Kid? Does the first impression matter?
A first impression definitely matters. If you don't do good in the first date, then you're not going to get a second date. You're not going to get a third date. It's over for you.
Last question is, do you have any flirting techniques that you want to share?
Honestly, like I said, nothing goes further than that first impression, that smile. Just get to know him, talk to him, have a casual time, be funny, and, see where it goes from there.
Yeah.
So what are some do's and don'ts on the first date?
So definitely take her somewhere nice, but somewhere that you could, have a conversation, somewhere that's not too loud. Make sure you treat her right, and you wouldn't pay for the bill, but I think both parties should offer it. But the guy's gonna end up taking it. As long as it's a good date and everything like that, and you guys are on the same level, it should be good. But get to know her.
Do you have any flirting techniques that you want to share?
I don't have flirting techniques, but I do have, signs for attraction. It's basically if they laugh at your jokes, lots of eye contact between both of you. You have to engage some sort of touch, like grabbing their hand, touching their hand accidentally, or just just some level of touch. Things like that definitely move a relationship much farther than it would seem at the start.
So we're here with Ryan today. What do you think? Does the first impression matter?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, if you don't make a good first impression, they're not going to want to see you again. So, better make that good first impression.
Do you have any flirting techniques that you want to share with us?
There's nothing better than just good eye contact, a smile, and just kind of a little bit of touch too. The combination of those three, just kind of, I think, will probably take you all the way.
What do you think, Alex? Does the first impression matter? Yes or no?
Oh, 100%. Nothing goes further than a smile, So got to get that first impression in, walk in that second date, and you're good to go.
What do you think are some do's and don'ts on the first date?
I think that I'm not a big going Dutch guy. I think the guy should definitely take the bill. I think also you should definitely stay interested, ask as many questions as possible, get to know that person better. And that being said, go somewhere that's relatively quiet. Don't go to a movie theater or something like that.
Last question is, do you have any flirting techniques that you want to share with us?
I have no idea. I haven't felt the warm touch of a woman in years.
So what are some do's and don'ts on the first date?
Do not talk about yourself too much. You want to learn as much as you can about them because you're half of that relationship as it is. So definitely ask more questions about them and make sure to do something nice for them at the end, like buy them candy.
Remember, guys,
take your shots!
What's up, YouTube? So today we're here with
Justin. Andrew.
Kyle.
Riri. Senya.
Okay, so the first question for today is, does the first impression matter?
Of course it does. The reason is because if you don't give off a first impression, the date's just kind of ass. You just don't want to do it. You go on through and they say some weird stuff, or they talk about big thing is when they talk about star signs. Like, that's a big no-no, and you just want to leave. Like, you just don't want to follow up the next day, say, oh, I had a good time, and then it is what it is.
Hey Justin, so do you have any flirting techniques that you want to share with the girls?
For girls and guys, honestly, eye contact. That's the biggest thing. If you're not able to like look at somebody in the eyes while you're talking to them, it's gonna make it really awkward, and you are less likely to go on a second date. So make sure you make that eye contact. You know, touching is kind of like an awkward thing to do on the first date. You don't really want to do that. And really just make sure you feel like what's going on. Like, you can tell when something isn't going right. And so if you need to pull out and just say, hey, it was a nice time meeting you, that, and you can just pull off from that. Like, it's not, you don't have to keep doing the second date because you're obligated to. End it when you have to.
Perfect. Hey Sanya, so what are any flirting techniques that you would recommend for the guys?
I just think on a first date the guy should be nice. That's it. Just nice. That's all you ask from a guy. I think that's it. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, so I feel like I only date people if I potentially see a future with them, and like I want to know if you have similar interests with me. So like I want to know if you have kids, like what your pursuits are, like educationally, career-wise, like all of that. But I don't know. That's it. Like, yeah.
No, thank you very much. Hey Rihanna, so what are some do's and don'ts on the first date?
Okay, I feel like I have very different do's and don'ts. I don't like to date people unless I can personally like see something with them in the future. So like I like to get everything out in the open on the first date. Like I want to know like if you.
So Andrew, what do you think? What are some do's and don'ts on the first date?
Well, what you don't want to do is constantly talk about yourself and what you've done, because that's just kind of awkward. What you do want to do is be engaged with the other person. You want to talk about what they've done, what they're up to. You don't want to, like, talking about yourself is just a kind of a huge red flag to me. Like, it's like, oh, I've done this, I've done that. Like, and you don't conversate with the other person. Then I have problems, and I'm going to be like, ooh, I don't know if I like this person because she's kind of full of herself. But if like we have a conversation, we find interest, like we gotta talk to each other, not about yourself. That's mine.
Okay, thank you. So what are some do's and don'ts on the first date?
Alright, so some big do's are make sure you're reciprocating. Don't make it like some weird thing where it's a one-sided conversation. It's really important to make sure that both people are like communicating, because if it's one person talking the whole time, it's not a fun date. A big don't is talking about things that are like one-sided. Again, it comes down to the one-side, two-side thing, where don't talk about something they can't talk about, because then it gets to a point where you're just like, what am I supposed to say? The conversation dies, things get awkward, and the date ends, and you never talk to them again.
Okay, Sanya, what do you think? Does the first impression matter? Yes or no?
I think, yeah. I mean, if they aren't funny or cool or they're just fucking lame, then the first impression doesn't matter. Yeah.
Makes sense. So what do you think? Does the first impression matter?
I think it really depends, but however, some of my best relationships, friendships have strived off the fact that when I first met you, you're a bitch, but now we're like best friends. So I don't know, it just really depends, you know?
Okay.
And hello.
Hi Megan, how's it going? Okay. So the first question is, does the first impression matter?
That's a solid yes. First impressions do matter 1,000,000%. You better make a damn good first impression or else bye-bye.
What do you think is a good flirting technique for guys or girls?
Make friends with whoever you're talking to. They're friends. That is the best technique. If you are talking to a girl or you're talking to a boy, you make friends with whoever they're with. That is the best technique, because if their friends love you, they will love you.
That's a great recommendation. What are some do's and some don'ts on the first date?
Okay, some do's. Pay for the date. Pay. Even if you offer to go halvesies, you pay for the date. So that's a do. You must do that. Do not talk about yourself too much. You need to ask questions about the other person.
Hey Sanya, what?
Well, I
Fuck, I forgot the question.
Like Uber gets you.